Welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real, metaphysical, and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. This week, we're going to be discussing a ritual that's been very heavily requested in both the live streams and in the comments, the Draconic Lesser Banishing ritual, the Pentagram. So stay tuned. But first, Bob, take it away.
Bob! Where are you? Bob, you lazy! Ooh! Leaving me to tell everyone to check out our online courses and live Zoom workshops at workingdragonmystic.com by clicking the online courses tab, or that they can check out our merchandise. There are coffee cups, art, travel mugs, and more. And all of you out there, even though Bob's a lazy, no good, also consider supporting the channel by becoming a channel subscriber. Each tier gets special member-only perks. All links can be found below, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're notified anytime there's a new video or live stream, even if it's Bob.
Okay, so it seems Bob might be still a little AWOL, but that's okay. Hopefully they'll find him soon. Check the bar. Now, let's talk about this ritual. Now, many of you know that this ritual was designed by myself and a buddy of mine who's been a lifelong ceremonial magician. Now, though I have a little background in ceremonial magic, I do not consider myself a ceremonial magician. I have studied, I have practiced, but it's not something that I've dove overly deep in, much like my friend had. That's why I got him to help me with this particular ritual and design. Now, a lot of people and a lot of students have utilized this over the years. In fact, this ritual happened so long ago, it's in one of my first grimoires, actually. I mean, this thing is old. It's pinned, notations. It's got some of my first workings in it. Luckily, I won't say it's well made, but it's durable-ish. So we do have that record here. Now, why did we do this? Well, I'm not one to go changing rituals just to change. I'm not. In fact, this was a request, and the reason it was requested so much was a lot of people do not like working with angels. They just don't. And even though you could use the lesser banishing ritual, the Pentagram, when you first get started in Dragon Magic, it does feel a little out of place. It really does, and I understand that. And a lot of people just simply did not like DJ Conway's rituals and setup, and I understood that as well. And a lot of people who come to Dragon Magic do have that feel for ceremonial magic. So the question of whether or not the two could be adapted came up. And I thought it was an interesting project myself. And I brought it to my friend. And he agreed. That sounded like a fantastic project. He himself was taking a bit of dragon magic lessons from me. And this was pre-point where I had received the Dragon's Flame ritual, which he later helped me test that one as well. So both of him and I sat down and we worked out the hows and whys to each piece of the ritual, why it was there, what it did, what it was important for, and we tried to break it down piece by piece. And then we worked with the dragons in order to put it back together in a way to move more of that draconic energy that would fit with dragon magic in a dragon magician's practice without any names of God or angels. Pretty straightforward, really. Now, we had to change a few other things because there's more than just angel names and the names of God within the Lesser Banishing ritual. Even the visualizations and some of the signs, a lot of stuff had to be altered. Even during the Pentagram call, there's usually traditionally like a name of God or something placed within there. And we didn't necessarily, dragons don't have a god to call to, so we had to work with the dragons to make this more balanced, more magician friendly across the board, because dragons will work with anything across the board. So we had to work with that concept of balance and across the board. All right. So with that kind of background discussion, there's jet noise. Sorry about that. Let's talk about how you're going to do this. And I do plan to demo this for you today. So you can not only hear how it's done, but you can see it. Now, this ritual is broke up into 4 major parts. You have the construction of the Draconic Cross. You have the construction of the pentagrams. You have the calling of the rulers. And then you close with a second construction of the Draconic Cross to seal that energy and set the space fully. Okay? So you stop where you started, kind of concept to really lock that in. Okay? So here we go. Now, again, I am demoing this, so these descriptions will make a bit more sense as we move into it. So the first thing you want to do when you get ready to do this ritual is you want to stand straight at attention. This one I do find you need to stand for. If you sit, you're not going to get as good results. Even if you have a turning chair, because you will need to be mobile for this ritual. Okay? You can do it in an astral sanctum, but as far as physical, this is a much more physical ritual. It gets better results. Sorry. Now, so we would start by our visualization. You're going to close your eyes and you want to visualize yourself growing larger. You want to see yourself growing larger than the earth. You want the earth to be a pinprick under your feet, but you're still standing on it. You want to become the center focus of that. That is how large you are. The concept here is you are becoming the center of your cosmos. You are the main point where all things are flowing. And that visualization of you standing upon the earth with it just a pinprick below, that is what you want. Now, once you have that visualization, I want you to take a few deep breaths. You're going to take that visualization, you're going to look up, and you're going to see a point of source, a point of power. And you're going to reach your hand up, and you're going to call to the dragons of air. And you're going to pull that energy down through you. Stopping at your forehead. Okay, the next one, you're going to continue that energy down to about your sternum here. All the way down, pointing to the floor. So now you're sending it down into infinity. It's coming from infinity up here. You're sending it down into infinity here. Got me? And you're going to call to the dragons of water. You're going to then trace that back up. And you're going to pull that energy out to your right. Call to the dragons of fire. Literally by dragons of fire, I call you. Or just dragons of fire. And you're going to see that going out into infinity to your right. Now you're going to pull that energy back across, out into infinity to your left. Dragons of earth. Then you're going to come center, and you're going to do what's called a salute, like that. Okay? Now this is a balanced salute of prayer and action. Okay? And when you're at center, dragons of spirit. Now I want you to hold this visualization with this energetic cross, reaching out into infinity, pulling the energy to center, which you are the center now. You are the center of infinity at that point. I want you to visualize it. I want you to breathe that energy in. I want you to get that solidified. Good 3 to 6 breaths probably, okay? Or longer if you need it. Then you're going to move on to the construction of the pentagrams. Now, you will be tracing what is referred to as a earth banishing pentagram in the air. And to do that, just use your hand. I usually use these 2 fingers. And you'll start at the left, bottom left of it, trace upward to the point, back down to the lower, then back up, back over, and back down to where you started. Basically, you're drawing a 5-point star. The visualization you want is you want to see that energy pouring from you and creating this pentagram, usually in white to bluish flames. Some people see it the color of the direction. That's fine. I usually just see mine in a blue arcane flame. And that's what you You want to draw that and trace that in front of you, floating in the air. Okay, that's important. You want it floating in the air in front of you. Now, while you're holding that visualization with it in front of you, I want you to take in a deep breath. I want you to pull power from that cross that we set up, okay? You're going to pull that in, take your hands, and essentially, you'll notice there's a triangle right here. And as you breathe out, you're going to push energy into that pentagram, and you're going to say, for the first pentagram, which should be at your east, to know. Okay? That's one of the powers of the magus, to know. So you're going to be saying that as you push it into the eastern pentagram. Okay? And I should say now, this is a directional ritual. You will be facing east, and you need to remain facing east. Or you start facing east, and you'll end facing east. You will turn during the ritual, but when you're concluded, you'll still be facing east. So you need to find east in your workspace. Okay. Now, you're going to take your finger again, point right at the center of that pentagram. And you are going to turn a quarter to your right. Okay, we're going clockwise. This will now put you facing south. Here, you will draw another vanishing pentagram of the earth, the same way. Only this time, when we push the energy into it, now we say the phrase, to will. Okay? Once you've done that, again, fingers to the center of the pentagram. Continue the energy, bringing it across. You should now be facing in a westwardly direction, which is behind you from where you started at this point. You will construct another pentagram. Same way. Start at the bottom left, up, down, left, right, back to start. Okay? You're going to be pulling that energy in and pushing it to empower the pentagram again. And this time, you're going to say, to dare. Okay? That's the phrase you're going to be using while you empower this pentagram. Once that's done, fingers to center, pull that energy another quarter turn round. We'll now be facing north, and you will draw the same pentagram. Start at the bottom left, up, down, left, right, back to start. We just drew a 5-point start again. And now, you're going to empower it the same way. Big, deep breath. Bring those hands up. As you breathe out, to keep silent. And you want to force that energy in. You want to really push that energy into that pentagram. Then, fingers again. Back to center. Complete the circle. Coming back to the east and the first pentagram we drew. We now have 4 pentagrams burning around us, fully charged, ready to go, with them all connected on a circle that we have constructed around us. Okay? Because at this point, you will hold your arms out in a cross-like fashion, and you will call to the Draconic rulers. You will say, before me, Zephyrsil. Behind me, Coralegra. To my right, Ingus Salor. To my left, Terrafana. And you want to see the silhouettes of these rulers in your mind's eye as best you can. Now, this is not a full evocation. You're not calling them to you. You're just calling the energies of these things to yourself. This is not a full evocation of the rulers, so don't freak out about that. You're just moving that power that these rulers are associated with to you in these pentagrams and your space. Okay? Now, keep your right foot where it is. Don't move it. Take one step left with your left foot, roughly shoulder length to slightly more than shoulder length apart, and keep your arms out. You essentially now are in a star shape. At that point, you say the phrase, around me burns the pentagram, and you will see that same energy you've been using constructing the 4 around you start burning in a pentagram literally around you where you are. You are now the center focus of the ritual. Everything's right back on you. You're the one that's igniting with the power. Still holding that pose, the next one is, inside me shines the dragon's eye. And right here on the heart, You want to see the dragon's eye triangle ignite and burning within you, so that you can feel that power and that balance. You are that power. You are that balance. You want to feel that energy cleansing you, empowering you, okay? Now, once you've done that, once you've taken a good 3 breaths, you're going to repeat that draconic cross as you're closing, like we said, which is very simply, snap your feet back together. When you do, close your arms, back to the salute. And then, as you drop this arm to your side, go up. Dragons of air. Dragons of water. Bring that energy back up again. Back out into infinity. Dragons of fire. Back across the heart, out to the other side. Out to infinity. Dragons of earth. Bring back to center. Dragons of spirit. Okay? That is how this ritual will function, and we are going to demo it, because the problem with these rituals when you write them out is there's a lot of words, and even though a detailed description of this is good to have, it doesn't show the function of it. It's hard to visualize, or it always has been for me. Now, what I've just done, if you sat here and listened to this video and walked along, you can easily walk through the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, Draconic style. But we're going to go ahead and do a demo. So, let's get the demo done, and I'll see you back here. Okay, you want to get in position, make sure you got enough room. If you have to step forward or back at some point while doing your turning, that's fine. Remember the visualization we talked about earlier in the video. Dragons of air. Dragons of water. Dragons of fire. Dragons of earth. Dragons of spirit. To know to will to dare keep silent. Before me, Zephyrsil. Behind me, Corallegra. To my right, Ingus Solor. To my left, Terrafana. Around me burns the pentagram. Within shines the dragon's eye. Draconis, Draconis, Draconis. Dragons of air. Dragons of water. Dragons of fire. Dragons of earth. Dragons of spirit. Now with that, the Draconic Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram is finished. Your area will be clear. and you will feel the very drastic energetic difference. And if you want to, you can also proceed from here to do other workings. See you back at the desk. Okay, so there it was. Very straightforward, very simple. Now, for a long explanation that took me probably 10 minutes or so, that ritual took 3 to 5 minutes maybe. Now, I want to talk about something. First off, there's a lot of steps in this. So, back in the day when I was first learning it, and I wrote it in my book, I have the long form description in here that honestly I found completely useless. I spent more time reading than ritual, and I'd lose my focus and the rituals didn't work. Now, ideally, any magician will tell you you want to practice the ritual. You want to practice it a lot, not necessarily just when you're using it. You want to memorize it, and that's true. But here's what I did to help me memorize it, because I didn't have a demo. I didn't have a walkthrough I could follow. You could actually come to this video and walk along with me if you wanted, but I wrote down on a single page what to do. I literally have it broke up in Draconic Cross, Pentagrams, Dragon Calls. That's what I have. And then at the bottom I put repeat Draconic Cross. So, and I literally on here just Draconic Cross 1 through 5. 1 is up, Dragons of Air. 2, down, Dragons of Water. 3, right, Dragons of Fire. 4, left, Dragons of Earth. 5, center, Dragons of Spirit. These are quick bullet points to help me remember the motions of the ritual. And this helped me a lot in learning the ritual itself. And it has been years, actually, since I've used the Draconic Lesser Banishing ritual, because once I learned the Dragon's Flame ritual, I came to prefer it. Now, should you do the same? No. In fact, my buddy, who he's taken my Dragon Magic classes as well, he prefers to this day the Lesser Banishing ritual that him and I worked on and designed. And he does use it, and that is fine. In fact, he actually worked through Dragon Magic 101 with the Lesser Banishing ritual of the Pentagram. And he is working through 102. That said, he is fully aware that by the time he gets to 103, he is going to have to switch over to the Dragon's Flame ritual, because the Dragon's Flame ritual brings to it aspects that he's going to need in 103. So he's actually already starting to go back and do a lot of the ritual work that he's done in 101 and 102 with the Dragon's Flame ritual. And at this point in time, we don't have a component that'll work in 103 that's more ceremonial in style. Him and I have discussed whether or not we should attempt this or not. And I told him if it's something he wants to work on, I'm game, and I'd love to work on it with him. He's helped me. I'm definitely willing to help him. But it is a preference, so we'll have to see where that goes. But this is a great starter ritual for anyone, really. And if you're just working in the basic 101 to 102 areas in Dragon Magic, maybe that's how far you want to go. Not everybody wants to go as far as they can possibly go on any tradition, Dragon Magic or any of them. This would work fairly well in those, though I still personally think the magician would get more out of the Dragon's Flame ritual on those specific path workings. That's a personal thought. You'd have to try it yourself, but I can't guarantee the path workings without the Dragon's Flame ritual. That's just true. But on any other general working, like let's say you just want to do a cleansing ritual, boom. You want to set space, boom. You want to use draconic energy and set your area up and get ready for spell working, boom. This can do it. This can do it. I personally, for me, I find I get a better result with the Dragon's Flame ritual. My buddy, in most things, says he gets a better result with this. Like I said, he is starting to realize for the path working, the Dragon's Flame ritual seems to benefit him more, but only for the path workings that are that super focused within Dragon Magic. In other things, he's found this to work great. So, take that as you will. I do encourage people to try this ritual. I found it fun. It means a lot to me. And now we got weed eaters. I hope you can't hear that. Because it means a lot to me, as this was one of the big rituals that I really got to work on in depth with a fellow magician. This was one of the ones, first ones I designed. I didn't just pick up a book and do something someone else had already taught me. So this one is near and dear to my heart, and it's always going to be in my repertoire. But I hope you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy ceremonial magic, give this a try. Let me know what you think. Let me know how the energy feels to you. Keep it respectful. Always keep everything in the comments respectful, of course. And if you're interested in hearing about the other ceremonial style rituals, if we do those, because I can't guarantee that he's going to set aside the time. I'll be honest, he says he wants to do a lot of things, but sometimes it's not important enough for him to set aside time. But if you are interested in those and he sets aside the time and we do them, let me know if you'd like to see a video on those as well. And who knows, if enough of you want to see them, I may go bug him. Alright? Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I personally really, really got to enjoy going back in time and looking through some old journals and some old rituals and some good times with good friends, and getting to share those works with you. All right. If you've enjoyed this or you enjoy content like this, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're notified anytime we release a new video. Also, consider supporting the channel. We do have a YouTube membership down here somewhere. And we also have a Patreon. Different tiers have different perks. You can find us at workingdragonmystic.com, where we do have online courses like Dragon Magic 101 and 102. And we also occasionally offer live coaching workshops with a Q&A and everything right over Zoom. It's like being in the classroom with me. Those are becoming very, very popular. So we are definitely looking to do more of those, of course. And join us on Sundays for Magical Coffee Hour, our live stream here on YouTube. All right? I'm Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic. You all have a fantastic week. Take care. Bye-bye.